Only a small percentage of the nearly 40,000 thoroughbreds born every year ever attains the status of stakes winner. Fewer still are graded stakes winners, capturing the most important races in the land. Only a small percentage of the graded stakes winners ever wins a Grade 1 race, the ultimate challenge in the sport. And but a handful of Grade 1 stakes winners ever attains the select status of champion. One of those rarest of equine stars is Meadow Star.
It is still Meadow Star leading the way by 4, pouring it on now by 5, and leaving the others behind in the wake of her brilliance. A perfect season for Meadow Star.
An undefeated champion as a 2-year-old, and one of the finest fillies in thoroughbred history. Meadow Star at 2 won 7 stakes, including 4 Grade 1 races. Her crowning moment came in the $1 Million Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, when she went off as the shortest priced favorite in Breeders' Cup history and devastated a full field of 13, which included the outstanding fillies Light Flight, Flawlessly, Dance Smartly, and Wilderness Song. Meadow Star added 2 more Grade 1 stakes triumphs during her 3-year-old campaign, while going well beyond $1 million in career earnings. Meadow Star's dam, the in-reality mare In-Reality Star, had sold for $125,000 as a select summer yearling at Keeneland. And there was a lot of family behind this racy-looking filly.
339, consigned by Robert E. Courtney's agent, is a Chestnut Meadow Lake filly out of In-Reality Star by In-Reality.
Purchased at Keeneland by Rob Whiteley as a racing and future broodmare prospect for Carl Icahn's Foxfield, Meadow Star exhibited her class even as a yearling at the sales grounds, and the consignment of Robert Courtney, agent for breeder Jamie Carry-On. According to Sports Illustrated, Whiteley was quoted as saying that he thought he was reaching a little, giving $90,000 for a daughter of an unproven stallion, but she so impressed him with her attitude and disposition. She was unflappable, alert, intelligent, well-balanced, and correct, Whiteley said. When she moved, there was no wasted motion. She was all business in front of a crowd.
90,000 here, but you get two her now. Pole 90,000.
After arriving at Jolly's Shed Row at Belmont Park in mid-May, Meadow Star made her debut there on June 13, 1990, a very early start for a rather late foal. One crafty lady, who would go on to be a graded stakes winner later in her career, was the odds-on favorite, but was no match for Meadow Star, who dominated this maiden field by 5 1/4 lengths under Jose Santos.
Meadow Star in command by 2.
Jolly moved Meadow Star up to the stakes ranks for her next start in the Grade 3 Astoria Breeders' Cup at Belmont. Installed as the 9-5 favorite off her impressive maiden score, Meadow Star did not disappoint. She ran down the stakes-winning Sweet Sarita to win by a widening 1 1/4 lengths.
Meadow Star alongside Sweet Sarita. Meadow Star gets the lead. Sweet Sarita now second, paying and playing third. Meadow Star in front.
The time of 1:04 1/5 for the 5 1/2 furlongs was 1/5 faster than eventual Classic winner Hansel, clocked in winning the Tremont Breeders' Cup earlier in the week at Belmont, and was also the fastest Astoria since Dearly Precious won the race in 1975. The next 2 starts for Meadow Star came at Saratoga, where many great 2-year-olds have performed, but very few have dominated as easily as Meadow Star. On opening day, Meadow Star faced 6 challengers, including Grade 3 Landalusi Stakes winner Garden Gal and the Grade 2 Schuylerville Stakes.
Meadow Star leads to the wire.
She is a lot of horse, Antley said of the winner. 7 challenged Meadow Star on closing day at Saratoga and the Grade 1 Spinaway Stakes, including Garden Gal and undefeated Grade 3 Sorority Stakes winner Good Potential. But once again, and despite being carried wide into the stretch, Meadow Star was by far the best.
Meadow Star on the outside of Garden Gal gets the lead. Good Potential on the rail second. Between in third is Garden Gal. Meadow Star has the lead. Garden Gal is second on the rail. Good Potential back into third as Meadow Star leads to the wire.
Meadow Star solidified her status as the leading juvenile filly by easily defeating 5 rivals in Belmont's Matron Stakes. Coupled with stablemate Really Quick, who had won the Grade 2 Adirondack Stakes, the entry was sent postward at 1-5. Stalking taking the early lead, Meadow Star unleashed a powerful move to gain command at the head of the stretch and won as she pleased by 6 lengths.
Here comes Meadow Star, who comes bursting through to take the lead as they come to the final furlong. Clark Cottage is there. Verbassel, who is far black plate, is closing, but they're down to the final 16th now. Meadow Star in front and driving, and she leads by 3 and is strong as they come down to the finish. Very impressive here. Meadow Star wins by 5.
Time for the 7 furlongs was 1:22 4/5, equaling the stakes record set by Lakeville Miss 13 years earlier. As the Blood Horse reported, the only surprise will be when and if Meadow Star loses. The next start for Meadow Star made that possibility seem very unlikely, as she rolled to the most stunning performance of her career. It came at Belmont Park in the Grade 1 Frizette Stakes.
And they're off. Meadow Star breaks alertly and goes for the early lead.
Only 4 challenged Meadow Star in the running of the Frizette, including the future female turf champion Flawlessly, who in her previous start had won a stake on the dirt at 1 1/16. Some turf riders questioned Meadow Star's ability to maintain her domination at 1 mile and beyond, but she answered that question in resounding fashion. In the Frizette, she dragged Santos to the front, repulsed several challenges, and widened her margin as the race progressed. At the quarter pole, she shifted into yet another gear on her way to an astounding 14-length triumph.
And they turn for home in the Frizette with undefeated Meadow Star turning it on. Here she comes and opens up quickly now by 3 as Santos goes to the whip now and to a hand ride, and Meadow Star opens up with complete authority here by 6 and will leave the others behind in a devastating wake, and she wins this one with astonishing ease. What a filly! Meadow Star won this by almost 15, maybe 20 lengths. Unbelievable performance, 135 2. Meadow Star toyed with them to the stretch and blew them away in the lane.
Running a mile for the first time, Meadow Star was clocked in 1:35 2/5 to equal the stakes record. Her time was 1/5 faster than the Colts, including champion Fly So Free and the Speedy Deposit Ticket, ran in the Grade 1 Champagne Stakes earlier on the card. The 1990 Breeders' Cup was at Belmont Park, where Meadow Star already had won 4 races, and she was hammered down to 1-5 by the bettors, the shortest price ever for a Breeders' Cup starter. Nonetheless, a dozen quality fillies dared to challenge the apparent champion, mostly hoping for a piece of the $1 million purse.
And they're up. Light breaks alertly on the outside. Coming up from in between horses now. There goes Dance Smartly, and Dance Smartly grabs a short lead. Sweet Sarita is moving with her. Wilderness Song is sent through an opening toward the inside. Light is now back racing in 4th position. Beyond Perfection is 5th. And then the favorite, Meadow Star, with clear running on the outside, now 6th.
After 6 furlongs in 1:11 flat, Santos swung the favorite to the far outside to circle the field. Surging relentlessly, Meadow Star was in a class by herself as she swept to the lead.
And 4/5 seconds, a blistering pace here for the juvenile fillies. And it is Dance Smartly who has a short lead. Light is right there fighting it out. Meadow Star now, a threatening presence on the outside, 4th, and here comes Meadow Star, and Santos turns her loose as they come to the top of the stretch. Private Treasure is just in behind the lead, and the field turns for home with Meadow Star taking command. Dance Smartly is trying to stay with her, but Meadow Star too much now and draws away here as they come down to the final furlong. Dance Smartly on the inside 2nd. Private Treasure is putting in a late run 3rd. In the final furlong, it is still Meadow Star leading the way by 4, pouring it on now by 5, and leaving the others behind in the wake of her brilliance. A perfect season for Meadow Star. She wins by 4.5 lengths.
Owner Carl Icahn, the noted Wall Street financier, fulfilled a promise he had made before the race of donating Meadow Star's Breeders' Cup prize of $450,000, plus any future earnings, to homeless and underprivileged children through the Children's Rescue Fund. The Breeders' Cup completed a perfect juvenile campaign for Meadow Star, who was honored unanimously as the champion 2-year-old filly of 1990. In a rare occurrence, Meadow Star received every vote cast by the Eclipse Award balloters.
And of course, we're very grateful to Meadow Star herself. Probably the most exciting thing I can say about her is that we don't know how good she is. And the most endearing thing is that in addition to her considerable talent, she's both very kind and very honest, qualities which I wish for all of us tonight. Thank you very much.
Given nearly 5 months off, Meadow Star resumed her career and her winning streak at Aqueduct in her 3-year-old debut. It came in the Queen of the Stage Stakes, named for the 1967 juvenile filly champion, who, like Meadow Star, had won the Frisette, Matron, Spinaway, and Astoria Stakes.
Now Meadow Star draws clear, takes complete command by 5. Then Christina Zarina onto the wire. Meadow Star, an easy winner.
Meadow Star embarked on another challenge, the grueling New York Filly Triple Crown. First leg, the 1-mile Icahn Stakes at Belmont Park.
It's Meadow Star in front by 3 at the 8th pole. Versailles Treaty on the inside, then Dazzle Me Jolie, a leg-weary third. I'm a Thriller on the outside, with all probability is far behind today. And Meadow Star strolls in the acorn. Meadow Star by 5 on the wire.
It was almost too easy, said jockey Jerry Bailey, who was riding Meadow Star. Bailey expected Meadow Star to have to kick into gear to get past the speedy favorite with all probability, but she turned back that rival and the rest of the field while merely cruising. The next race was much tougher. In a duel that will be remembered for decades to come, Meadow Star and the record-setting Kentucky Oaks winner Light Light battled in the Grade 1 Mother Goose Stakes. Prior to the race, Jolly was quoted as calling it the mother of all gooses. He was right, and then some.
And now the tempo quickening as they enter the far turn. Meadow Star still holding the lead, and Light Light moves to engage her with a half-mile to run. Risen Colony down on the inside, racing third, and Naley's Pin is fourth. It's Meadow Star trying to go the distance now, and Light Light confronts her head-to-head with 3 furlongs to run, and here's the race we've been waiting for. Meadow Star in front by a head. Light Light, they're moving inseparably as they come to the top of the stretch, pulling away from the field. Meadow Star is tested here. Light Light is right at her neck. They're still inseparable as they come down the stretch here at Belmont Park. Meadow Star fully extended. Light Light surging on the outside. Light Light ahead in front at the 8th pole. Meadow Star is coming back. What a thriller as they come down to the finish. Meadow Star determined. Light Light unwavering. Here's the finish, and it is very close. Meadow Star right there. Light Light on the outside. Absolutely sensational. It's Meadow Star and Light Light on the line together in the Mother Goose.
The 2 great fillies raced nose-to-nose through most of the last half-mile. Light Light gained a slight advantage at the 8th pole, but Meadow Star fought back along the inside, her head cocked toward Light Light as if to say, "You will not get by." Digging in with every stride, determined, courageous, until finally her eyes were 6 inches in front as they crossed the wire. Light Light's longer head, however, made the result too close to call. The rivalry must have taken something out of both fillies. In the 1.25 mile Coaching Club American Oaks, Light Light smashed the stakes record and defeated Meadow Star to deny her the Filly Triple Crown. But Light Light was never the same filly after leaving New York. As for Meadow Star, her time in the Coaching Club Oaks was equivalent to the stakes record. However, she apparently pulled a muscle in her hindquarters while leaving the gate, and thereafter could never quite regain her best form. Nevertheless, Meadow Star won 10 stakes and retired with earnings of $1,445,740. Remembered for her great heart and early brilliance, undefeated champion at 2, winner of her first 12 starts against her own sex, a winner of 6 Grade 1 stakes, who equaled the stakes record in the Matron and the Frisette. Not only was the Children's Rescue Fund much richer for the exploits of this great champion, but so were the racing fans who loved this magnificent filly and who witnessed one of the most brilliant stars in racing history, Meadow Star.